examples to this and try and go through this, all right? One thing I kind of don't like about organic chemistry is that there's so much variation or discrepancy. So I'm going to try and keep them as simple as possible so that we don't confuse you, all right? I know if you talk to other people when they get going, they'll have other stuff that's there, all right? If you can sort out the longest carbon chain and be able to add on extra pieces of information, I think you're probably good to go, all right? With the functional groups, I'm going to try and keep them as simple as I possibly can so that you, become a little bit comfortable in recognizing that, for example, that's an alcohol, that's an acid, that's an aldehyde, that's a ketone, that's an ether, and that's an ester, okay? Easier said than done, I understand, okay? Also, because of the fact this is like grade 12 stuff, it's not grade 10. Alright, when you do this, if you're taking grade 11 chem, you wouldn't do this, alright? So if you're taking standard level or higher level chem, the expectation is you will know a little bit of this. If you're taking higher level biology, you're expected to know some of this, not all of it. Alright? So, let's go through this. Alright, so an alcohol is an R group, which is your long carbon chain attached to an OH, right? With exception. So when you look at this, how many carbons is that? One. So therefore, we know one carbon is called
methyl.
Okay, so we know it's methane, right? All right. Well, if you say methane, that means that you don't. Do you have a functional group? No.
It's a functional.
Okay, if I say to you what's methane, you go CH.
3,
4. CH4. Okay? So therefore, really, when you look at it, all right, that would be like if I said you methane, you would have CH4. All right? But I'm going to put something on there that changes the characteristic. I'm going to put on an OH group. Well, an OH group means that you no longer have methane, you have methanol. Alright? Or you can call it methyl alcohol. Both are correct. Alright? So methyl alcohol because of the OH. Right? And the good thing is you really don't have to specify for CH3, you don't have to specify where it is, all right, at the present time. All right, so, and we'll do more examples of that as we get going. So that's number one. Okay, number two is, all right, you have CH3, right? So, but you also have one there. So you actually have one carbon, two carbons. And you guys know this one.
How do you know this?
Okay? Ethanoic acid, or sometimes known as.
So why is it acid?
Acetate. Oh, yeah.
Acetic acid. You guys might know it as something that you use to clean with, maybe, or you might put on your fries.
Wait, how do you know
Vinegar. Okay?
Wait, how do you...
So, it's,
Vinegar or fries is a shit.
right, it's recognized because of a double bond to oxygen and an OH. Alright? Alright?
Oh, what? No, I'm just lost now. How'd you know it was ethanoic?
Well, okay, still have to go, so the basis of is how many carbons is it? One carbon, two carbons. So 2 carbons is ethane, right? Alright, then you have to specify what the functional group is because you have that OH. Alright, that would be an alcohol, but you have double bond, so it's an organic acid.
Okay.
Alright? Probably okay. Probably could be.
Because you had a different teacher, he taught you all the ethanes and all stuff.
What the hell are you talking about?
Didn't you?
Oh yes, you are recording.
Do you live my life?
Okay, so look at it.
No.
It's
When we started, you
C2,
clearly said it.
H,
You clearly said it.
Why is it 3 carbons then?
what?
Why does it have 3
Yo,
carbons?
Piyush, you're so
Well, it does, because it's got C, so
Go
look,
to the way.
right, so it's got, 2 carbons there, right?
Actually, gains some
3,
real twig.
4, right, and a double bond O.
Okay, so
I'm
there's
joking.
two.
Right, because normally,
I'm
you
not helping
guys
English anymore.
know that is that, right? So if you add the other H in there, you now become 4, right? So
Yeah.
3 plus 1 plus 2, okay? Alright, number 3 on the list, alright, is, okay, so we've got a carbon here, we've got a carbon there, so that's 2, alright? Alright, so normally it would be that thing, right? But, do you see an OH anywhere?
No.
Okay, so no OH at the end, which means it can't be an acid, right? But it has a double bond O. And when it's at the end, we call them aldehydes, and that's called ethanol.
Oh.
Not actinate, not ethanate, not ethanol. Al. Alright?
Okay.
Most common example that you would know of an aldehyde would be glucose,
Oh yeah.
Glucose.
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 otherwise known as sugar.
My boy.
Yo,
Why did you give me that one? Why did you give me
You need to make energy, so if you're in a hospital, you can't eat. So they hook you up to the. Alright, now, first 3 are pretty straightforward.
What? Me? No.
No, they're pretty straightforward to recognize because they're all, so the key thing is they're all where?
What's
They're all
wrong
at
with
the
that?
end,
What's wrong with that? This is the basic.
okay? So if you look at it, the OH, the C double bond OH, C double bond H, they're
No.
all at the end, okay? Now, what happens when you get in the middle?
I have a question.
Yeah,
Do we keep the 2 under the C for the third one because you erased it for the
Yeah.
second
Why
one?
don't you just put that on the desk?
I'm just counting,
Okay.
I'm just counting, alright? So, now,
Just hands on it.
number 3 on the list can be, or 4,
Why don't you just
named a couple of ways, alright? And everything has to do with where you find, okay? It can't be at the end, it cannot be at the end. Alright, so if it's at the end over here, or at the end over here, what functional group is it?
If it's at the end,
It's at the end, it's at, so it's going to be,
ester.
No, it would be-
Ketones.
okay, if you put the double bond either here or here, what molecule is it?
No idea.
Acid? How do you know?
Water?
How are we supposed to
Aldehyde?
know?
It's
Aldehyde.
How does that help?
Okay,
Would it be
now,
acids?
Aldehyde. It has a C in it. H.
see, I told you,
It's aldehyde.
right, so, if it goes,
C-H.
alright, let's, so if I put 3 carbons like that, right, like this one is, and I put it at the end here, or I go,
That's a ketone.
Acids.
okay, if I put it there, and that's an H, alright, and we just put the rest of them in. Okay, and that's like the one above,
Acid or
it's an
aldehyde?
aldehyde, okay? If the double bond O is at the end, right, like so, then it's an aldehyde. So the only way you get a ketone is if the double bond O is in the middle,
Yeah.
alright?
Wait, I'm so confused.
Alright,
Is
so,
it like the one
Yeah,
above?
aldehyde's in the
I
middle
get
too.
like the one
But it has an
above.
H inside.
But it's only a single.
It has an H too.
Dude, I'm so
never,
see.
okay, so alright, so most of you get this one wrong. This is the one that's commonly made a mistake.
aldehyde is in the middle too.
No, it's not.
There's only a single.
Oh, I get
It's at the end.
Oh, last card
Oh,
is,
R,
last card
So if you
is.
look at this, it's at the end,
I
alright?
get it.
So, how many carbons is this one here?
No, sorry, they're saying aldehyde over there.
Where?
Wait, what?
On that
Aldehyde?
side. Over there. It's in the middle. Overjoyed, man. C, so that's
Oh, because you didn't put the function group, right?
okay.
Okay, remember the R is
But that has an
long
H on it.
carbon chain.
That's a hydrogen.
Alright,
Was
so
the third one
go back, okay? Oh wait, alcohol. C double bond O, wait,
Are you gonna stay here?
acid. C double bond O with an H, aldehyde. Okay?
Why is it ethanol?
C double bond O with something on either side of it is a ketone. So it's carbon 1, carbon 2, carbon 3, so it's pro. Any idea?
Propane.
Wait, why is the aldehyde?
Okay, propanol.
What's the third one?
But no.
Where?
Is it Carter? Why is the third one in two different? Yeah, why
What?
is there aldehyde? Why is the third one like aldehyde, but it's also ethanol? Like what? We're so confused.
It's ethanol
Yeah,
with a
or
CH3 beside it.
ethanol.
That's a group.
Whatever. Yeah, ethanol.
That's a group.
Yeah.
Ethanol.
Oh, is that the group?
Yeah, it's
So,
an aldehyde. It's in the group.
Yeah, it's an aldehyde.
Now I get it. Oh, okay.
So, sir,
Why?
Yeah,
Because
what
the
is
easy
I
answer
be
is at some
retarded.
point in your lovely science career, you're gonna have to be able to use these things.
Even in biology.
Well, you have to take science at least
you have
one
to take
more
science.
time,
Live through it.
right? So unless you're taking physics, alright, so if you're taking physics and nothing else, you can go to sleep.
Can we?
Alright, well, no, you gotta get through this. Alright, if you're taking chem or bio, you have to know most of the stuff.
Oh my God, shoot me.
Yeah.
Someone shoot me.
Yeah, so kill me now, right?
Yeah.
It gets worse. It gets worse.
Let's cheat. Screw this cheat. What?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Keyword. No, it says, oh, it says pro.
Yeah.
Pro.
Yeah.
And propanol. Propanol.
Yeah.
It's about R.
But how do you What is it for?
So, just so everybody's, okay, that
Something for the right.
right there represents R. Okay, that right there represents R.
Yo, I think
Okay,
Matthew
so
will
the R just means what is the carbon chain?
Look like I have a car.
Alright, so, and then we have the one I think is the easiest of all.
Can we close the curtain so we don't have the chair?
Exactly.
So wait, that's called Jones.
Propanol. So ladies, ketones are important for you guys because that's what makes up a lot of the lovely things you put on your
Face.
nails.
This is your face?
Nail polish?
Well, or what you use to remove it. Like acetone, although you're not allowed to use acetone anymore because it's
It's illegal.
carcinogenic.
It's illegal.
Carcinogenic.
What does that
Cancer
do?
It makes you what?
What?
What does it make?
Makes you cause
Wait, they
cancer,
don't have that here?
right?
No, they don't allow it.
Just like when we do the frogs and we can't put them in formic acid or formaldehyde because it's
I'm gonna
cancer
check my
causing
nail
too.
polish tonight.
So we use something called formalin, which is a derivative. Alright, so then we have this ROR, which is otherwise known as anether, or ether. Yeah,
So the ketones always end in like
yeah,
always.
oh, yeah.
Only of California.
Alright,
The battle of the apples. It's an apple, man. It's an apple.
alright.
Hey, apple. Hey.
Can you name this thing based on the fact, on the longest carbon chain?
Yeah.
Well, yes and no.
Yes.
Right? Because you have a group here and you have a group there. So what's CH3 mean?
propane.
Methyl, right? How many methyls do you have? Two. So, di,
Quarantine.
I got the wrong side.
Quarantine.
okay? So, di, because you have two methyl, because CH3 have ether.
Okay, got it.
And that's always gonna end in ether. So, and dimethyl because there's the whole class is dimethyl.
How come the other ones don't end like that? In the name of the group.
Remember?
Yeah, they do. First one does. Second one also does.
Aldehyde doesn't.
Yeah, but he said those are the weird ones kind of thing.
We're gonna leave
mess up on
this
that.
one for a period of time.
Can you just get it over with?
Recognize what it is.
Let's just get it over with.
Alright, so all those lovely pretty things that you guys smell, like perfume-based stuff, colognes, alright?
Is that nasty?
Fruit smells are all based on esters.
Would it be di something oxygen?
No.
Dimethyl.
Is it the
Someone
last one?
incorporate oxygen in there and then.
Is it
No,
ester?
let's try it.
Is it ester?
Okay, what you're gonna put down here right now is it's,
Yes.
oh wait,
Oasis?
that just
Oasis?
means that's gonna be the ending.
Oasis?
Oasis. Yeah,
Dimethylate?
no, dimethyl, there's an ethane in it. It's methyl.
What?
Yeah.
That's less noise.
Or sometimes you might be able to use that, right? So, okay, you got a methyl there.
Yeah, that's one.
Okay, you have that there.
Go like this. There's some finish back there. Right in it.
That's ethane.
Throw it.
Should it be dimethyl?
No!
It's right there though.
Oh! You're right. I'm number three. Sir, I have a question.
Yeah. Okay, Oling is used for an ester. The name, Dan.
Stop, don't do it.
So the example I gave you was methyl ethanoate. Okay, sometimes called something else, but
Oh my god, where? Oh my god, where?
It's everywhere.
Now it's going down your
It's
back.
all over your face.
I swear you're joking.
I joke.
You remember that?
Arusha, your expression is so funny.
Oh man. Run, take it, run, do it. But jump here. We're gonna break. Let go or break.
Is he done or what?
okay.
Run, that's worth more. Run, that's worth more.
Wait, so what do you use?
Oh, that's not better.
Yeah.
Long to you. That's why.
What do you mean just celebrate his birthday?
Okay, gentlemen, ladies, question on the floor. Who had the question?
Who
Yeah.
called you? Who called you? Obviously, you know everything, man.
Oh wait. Always. Right now.
Esters and oil.
Don't wait.
I'm not. This is actually simple. I get this. If I get this, you should. You want me to?
It's just like me.
Oh God. This is hard. There's not one right answer. Is that not true? Matt, only one right answer. You're in school. What do you in school? You actually try not answer.
I know solar cell is right down here.
Should've